Hey guys, my word, it's kind of strange being back in front of the camera again, but I thought it's been enough time that I needed to sit down and start making time again for making YouTube videos. What have I been up to? Well, in the last video I posted, I didn't really let on with anything, but I went to the Netherlands. I took a month off of work and I went and visited Maud and her boyfriend, and I got to be introduced to Veronica. I will link their YouTube channels down below if you want to go and check those out. What else have I been up to? I went skydiving in July for the first time in my life, and trust me, if you're gonna skydive, have somebody attached to you so that when your fear and flight cycle kicks in, you know, you've got that person to just shove you out. It was wonderful, and it was an amazing experience skydiving. If you guys ever have a chance to go, I highly recommend it. I did it with my mom, and my dad was on the ground watching it all take place. My mom actually jumped with me. It was a very surreal experience, and I actually want to do it again, which is kind of funny considering how terrified of heights I am. I've recently bought a pair of skates and a helmet because I want to start skating. I went skating a couple of times as a child. I don't really remember it. All I know is that my mom said I hated it. So now that I'm a little bit older, I've gone skating twice, and I'm starting to get the hang of it. I'm still not the best. I can tell you I've gone twice, and I have fallen both times. You know, it's a learning experience. We're gonna take falls every day of our life, so, you know, let's keep learning things that we've never done before, right? Today I'm going to show you all of the books that I got in the Netherlands and a couple of non-book related things that I did get from the bookstores. Let me know what you guys have been up to, and if there's specific content that you're kind of wanting to see here on my channel, so I can kind of start getting back into the routine of making videos. The first book that I got was not actually purchased. Maud actually said I could take it if I wanted to, and it is The Last of the Fire Drakes by Farah Ambroy. This one here, I kind of have been wanting to read, but I wasn't 100% sold on it, and I didn't really want to take the book from Maud because I feel kind of guilty just taking a book from her. So she kind of encouraged me to when she stated that this girl is a very special snowflake, and you'll find out later on in this video why that made me have to take this book. The next two books that I have, I actually got at the Efteling, which is a hotel amusement park. And if you ever are in the Netherlands, please go and visit the Efteling. It was fantastic. So the first book I have is actually this one. It's just called Efteling, and it's just pictures and everything of the rides. I just kind of wanted to take a little bit of the amusement park home with me because I've never been to an amusement park before. So this was kind of a very crucial thing for me when I was away. Now, if you guys are ever in the Netherlands and you go to Efteling, I highly recommend Vogelrok and Baron 1898. Those were by far my two favorite rides. There was also another one, it's about goat riders. I can't remember the name of it now. No. The other one that I got, I haven't even taken out of the paper wrapping for it, and it is More Fairy Tales from Efteling. And these are just beautifully bound books that the Efteling do. I wasn't able to get the first one, which is just called Fairy Tales from Efteling. It's a blue one. But my goal is when I go back to be able to speak and read enough Dutch that I can actually buy these in the original language version, because they only had the first one in Dutch. The next three things that I have to show you are actually from Rotterdam. The first one I have is Did I Mention I Love You by Estelle Mascame. And the funny thing is, this book is my total guilty pleasure read. I'm just going to read the back of it because it kind of explains it a little bit better. Eden Monroe came to California for a summer of sun, sand, and celebrities. What better way to forget about the drama back home until she meets her new family of strangers, a dad she hasn't seen in 3 years, a stepmom, and 3 stepbrothers. Are you seeing where this is going, guys? Eden gets her own room in her dad's fancy house in Santa Monica, a room right next door to her oldest stepbrother, Tyler Bruce, whom she cannot stand. He has angry green eyes and an ego bigger than a Beverly Hills mansion. She's never felt such intense dislike for someone, but the two are constantly thrown together as his group of friends pulls her into their world of rule-breaking, partying, and pure hanging. And the more she tries to understand what makes Tyler burn hotter than the California sun, the more Eden finds herself falling for the one person she shouldn't love. This one, though, I actually got drawn by the cover. I didn't really know anything else about it. I actually really like this cover. I just really love the color design with this, and the other two are the same, but I noticed that this series is recently going through a cover change, which I'm not the happiest about. The next one that I have is one that I definitely wanted to pick up while I was in the Netherlands, as it is by a Dutch author. It is called This Is Where It Ends by Marieke Nijkamp. Can't pronounce that name. I'm sorry. This was one of the books that I wanted to pick up while I was in the Netherlands, and I picked up a book and I was like, oh, this one's got a little like tear in the cover, and I'm sorry, but like, I know how expensive these books are in the Netherlands. No wonder they buy online rather than in specific bookstores sometimes, because these are really expensive books, guys, especially for hardcovers. All of a sudden I spot this sticker and I'm like, yes! Oh my word, I got so excited because here I am in the Netherlands, but there's a signed edition just like laying there and it's like calling my name, Rebecca, Rebecca, Rebecca. I heard it and it knew I heard it. The last book that I picked up is Unmaking Hunter Kennedy, and it's by Anne Elliot. The main reason why I picked it up was, number one, the spine and the back of this book is so beautiful that I wish that this was the cover. But I actually bought it because there's actually an English spelling error in the description of this book. And I just kind of found it funny. And I kind of like that quirkiness for this book. And I read the description. I'm like, okay, well, it kind of reminds me a bit of Popstar and, oh, what was the other one?
I can't remember. It was with one of the singers from the... Oh my god, how am I blanking? Guys, I'm blanking. I'm just going to put the name on the screen because I literally cannot remember the name of the movie right now, but if you guys... The Biggest Fan!
Oh my word, that's the name of it. The Biggest Fan. If you guys have watched either of those, they're pretty teeny bopper, but I did enjoy them at one point in my life. Quite a lot, actually. This kind of reminds me of that just a little bit, and I'm really excited that I have this and I can read it. But again, the spine and the back of this book is just beautiful. In case you guys were wondering, the bookstore that we went to in Rotterdam is Donner's bookstore, and they actually give you these beautiful bags. Now, my bags that I have that I'm going to be showing, they are crinkled because of the fact that I had to kind of wash them when I got home. This is my Donner's book bag, and it says Dank aan je hoofd. But this one I do know. Het boek is toch beter, die boekhandel ook. So it says the book is much better than the movie. I know that much. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, because I only actually know like a couple of what those words mean, and then the rest I'm just kind of like, it's gotta fit in like this. But the next two books that I have to show you guys, Maud and I actually purchased off of a Dutch book site, and she had me read the first one while I was sitting there, and that is Adulthood is a Myth and Big Mushy Happy Lump by Sarah Anderson, or Sarah Scribbles, and this girl is hilarious. The whole thing with it is, this is quite like something that you're going to sympathize with and understand and be like, this is totally me. And it's true. This is very true to that fact. I really enjoyed this, and I actually have other people that I am going to be buying this for. Now, remember I told you earlier with The Last of the Fire Drakes that Maud told me that she's a very special snowflake. Well, this is the book for that reason. If you guys do not get the reference of being a special snowflake, it's not actually a good thing. And on top of it, this kind of makes you understand it a little bit better, and you'll know that, in all honesty, you are not a special snowflake. The next book that I got, I actually bought at Kinderdijk. Again, this is another place that if you guys love windmills, like I came to realize within the first little bit of me being in the Netherlands, number one, windmills were everything, and number two, koeien. Koeien! Koeien! While we were there, I picked up The Untouchables by Colin White and Laurie Buke, I think is how you say the last name. Basically, it's an observation of the Netherlands, its cultures, and its inhabitants. It kind of seems like it's going to be a fun little book to read. It's not really little, but it seems like it's going to be fun. The next two books that I have to show you guys are ones that I got given from Maud. There's a little bit of a backstory, so I'm going to show you the books first. The first one is Ring by Koji Suzuki and Spiral by the same author, and these are actually really beautiful editions. When I was in the Netherlands, Maud does like her horror. She's very similar to my older sister. They like horror books and movies. Maud wanted to watch a scary movie with me, and I'm probably remembering very little of the details, which is kind of sad because my mind is blanking because I'm just so excited talking about like this trip. I'm getting very nostalgic right now. Basically, she wanted to watch a horror movie. I said okay. I let her pick. We watched Ring, or The Ring, with Naomi Watts, and I remember watching the movie. I stopped watching one of the scenes in the movie. I'm trying to like wipe my memory of that scene. I guess I ended up in a couple of scenes I was just like screaming. Actually, by the time I got to the end of it, it wasn't as scary, and then like bam, it became scary again. Yeah, that was my first full horror movie that I've watched through. I have watched When a Stranger Calls, the remake, but I thought that was a comedy, to be honest, because it wasn't very good. But I went in and I saw that with my sister. I don't know if that like falls under the horror genre, because I didn't find that that was scary at all. I just found it kind of humorous. But I watched about half of the first movie, The Purge, with a friend, and then a teacher told me that a nice girl like me shouldn't be watching that movie and threatened to call my parents at school, so I turned it off. So I haven't finished watching The Purge yet, guys. The Ring was the first full horror movie that I've watched, and you know, I think it's better to watch with people. I forget where we were exactly, but we went to the American Book Center somewhere in the Netherlands. I wasn't planning on buying a book when I was there, but Maud and Veronica told me that I should definitely get this because it's a traditional Dutch childhood and they have it in English. It is Jip and Janneke by Annie M.G. Schmidt. Funny story, I actually have one other book by this author. It's called The Cat Who Came In Off the Roof, I believe is what it's called. This here is all in English, but it is traditional Dutch childhood, I guess. So I'm going to read it in English, and then again, when I get stronger in my Dutch, which I want to, I'm going to pick it up in Dutch and read it that way and have the two translations of it. The other book Veronica ended up picking up for me, so thank you, Veronica. And yes, we still have to buddy read this. It is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. This is the 10th anniversary edition, which is the one that I actually wanted to get. I love these, you know, UK editions that they've done for the anniversary. They're just beautifully done, and Chris Riddle actually did the illustrations for it. I have seen the movie, but I haven't read the book. Veronica, you and I, we have to buddy read this. Maud, if you want to too. And if anybody else is interested in buddy reading, I can let you know when, you know, we're all buddy reading it, and all of that. Maud actually knows how slow, though, I actually read. I'm a very slow reader. I'm not fast at all. Also, from Veronica, I think we did like a book swap or something for this, but I got Ballad by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the first Maggie Stiefvater book that I own and purchased, but I did buy on Book Depository Lament because I need to read the first book first. But this is dealing with fairies as well, I believe, so I'm really excited to read it because it just seems like a really interesting book. The next book that I have is actually Talon by Julie Kagawa. Now, Maud had wanted to give this to me for my birthday. She gave it to me in person, and it is signed by Julie Kagawa, which is really cool. And she also put in this little sign sheet by Veronica Roth, which I think is just like amazing. So I have these. So I really like Julie Kagawa's writing. I need to finish The Iron Fae before I start this series, though, because I have had that open on my shelf for so long. The next thing I have to show you, I actually picked up in Amsterdam the day before I was due to fly out. I spent the night in a hotel in Amsterdam because I had to be at the airport super early the next morning. We went to 2 stores in Amsterdam. We went to the American Book Center, which is going to fall at the end of this video, and we went to Waterstones. So there is one Waterstones in Amsterdam. It's the only one outside of like the UK, and it was beautiful. And I kind of want to go back and just kind of sit in there for a little bit longer because it was beautiful. It's more than 1 floor, and it was just lovely. It's like what I attest to have for a library in my life. What I picked up was, of course, this bag, and it's an I Heart Mr. Darcy, or I Heart Darcy, because why not? It's Darcy, and I need a bag that says this because Austenland, need I say more. The other thing I picked up was a Book Chick pin, which I really like and I think is just really adorable. And the last thing I picked up was at the American Book Center. They have a blind date with a book, and I picked the only one that I didn't actually know what the book was, and I don't know 100% if I'm going to like it. It sounds really interesting, I just don't know if it's for me. It's called The Abyss Surrounds Us by Emily Skrotsky, and it says, Cass has fought pirates her entire life, but can she survive living among them? That's all I've read. I don't know if this will be a book that I fully enjoy, because as I said, it was a blind date with a book. I haven't done any research on it. I haven't really looked into it anymore. So we'll have to see if I like it or not, because, you know, it's a book that I don't know falls under my comfort zone or something that I enjoy reading. So this is what I got for my blind date with the book. This is all that I bought from the Netherlands. I got a lot more books than I originally planned on getting. I can state that much. This video has been long enough. I have enjoyed talking to you guys and kind of just fangirling about my trip to the Netherlands. I did do a lot of recording for stuff, like for what I did and like just how beautiful the Netherlands are in general. But if you guys are interested in seeing videos for it, I'm probably going to work on editing pretty soon. I just don't know when they'll end up on this channel. So I won't lie to you guys. There's a lot of footage. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you in my next video. Doei!